And you are live, everyone. It's V, the Guerrilla Economist, coming to you live. It's Rogue Coin, the most epic, most prolific, most incredible damn crypto show on God's green earth. And if you're not here, folks, you're not anywhere. If you're not here, you're going to be stuck on 20 long holds.
Oh, God.
You said we weren't going to talk about
it. And you know who you are.
Stop. We said we weren't going to talk about
that. I'll just leave it at
Oh,
that.
God. Oh, man.
If you don't want to lose money, and if you don't want to be a sucker, you want to learn how the game is played, folks, I don't need to tell you. You already know the answer. It's thecryptoschool.io. Thecryptoschool.io. The link is in the description box of this video. Look, man, here's the deal, guys. The responses. We've had people who paid for their entire year of schooling, their entire year of membership for the school for learning how to trade. They've done it in less than a month with the Trading Academy. I mean, with the trading room, folks. That's the real deal. We're going to be posting those results, those screen captures, not those stupid little, hi, I'm Becky Johnson in the trading school and the Trading Academy and the trading room. It really helped me.
Yeah, these weren't even solicited, were they?
These were not even solicited.
They were just saying it because they're cool people.
People's lives are being changed, man. This is the kind of things that gets me pumped and excited. Not because I'm selling you Super Snake Oil 3000, you're drinking and thinking you're growing yourself a third arm. But the fact is,
it's more of a flipper anyway.
Exactly. And the fact is that you're actually getting a real education. You're learning how the game works. And I'm so proud of these two guys.
Indeed.
Z and Cowboy. Where do I begin with these two guys? These guys are the absolute hottest commodities in the cryptoverse, in my opinion. And I am so honored and humbled to be working with these guys, to be learning from these guys. And I'm wowed. I am totally wowed by these guys. And every single person who's been in the trading room will tell you, these are the kind of guys that will teach you as a student. They'll teach you the technical analysis. They'll show you the trade. They'll show you the method behind the madness, the technique, and why they did that trade. And they show you how it's done from soup to nuts. They're not somebody saying, buy this coin and then walk away. And you don't know why. You haven't learned anything. You haven't done nothing. You haven't empowered yourself. Z and Cowboy, they do that. They do that better than anybody I know. I cannot emphasize to you guys how important it is to be in on this. But enough of all that.
Dude, they also throw out unsolicited warnings when they see something in the market tanking. They're not just fanboys for specific tokens or coins.
Exactly.
I mean, there have been plenty of times. I think I talked about this on Friday. Like I know Z loves Ven. Like he has a picture of it in his wallet, right? And yet
over my mother's photo.
Yes.
Wow.
he has the Ven logo with like a little hair and lipstick on it. And like I don't know if it was last Wednesday or whatever. I had to make some decisions about some things I was doing, and he said, "Oh, it's looking like we're gonna dump some here," and man, that helped me out. I got into another trade. I was able to make profit on it and pay for something that floated away in my basement last week. So this is real life stuff here. So
yeah, absolutely. Frank's basement got flooded,
and we were seeing, V, you hinted at some things that we don't want to get into because we're real positive people here, but we didn't talk about anything. We just started seeing in a room people were saying, "Oh, I'm in this and I'm in that, and these guys are top of the line," and I was just so impressed. And V, we've done a lot of different things together. Yep. Most people oversell and underdeliver. Our relationship with Z and Cowboy has been just the opposite.
Yeah, it has been.
That's so refreshing. So it's been such a pleasure.
Definitely. So without further ado, Z, Cowboy, what's going on, guys?
What was that?
After that introduction, I feel like I can retire. That thing felt like being paid like $5 million. I mean, Z and I we like what we do. I get the feeling that there are some other rooms out there and it's not what they do, or maybe they don't like doing it, or it's just an income stream. And maybe they found a way to, put forth some effort and get like a crowd. Oh, they made some good calls for a few weeks and all their buddies called them in. And then you got a few people locked in waiting for that next call. But Z and I have been doing this for a while, and you know, we like to do this. We actually show up enjoying our work. I mean, well, that's how I feel. I don't want to speak for Z. I mean, what do you say, Z?
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. You know, a lot of these guys, unfortunately, you know, they somehow got a following of some sort. And you know, they unfortunately take advantage of people's trust. And it's a bit of a shame. I mean, you know, I battle with it with a lot of my peers. So I mean, unfortunately it's kind of crappy, but I'm friends with a lot of these guys, and I just like ask them, it's like, how do you guys charge so much, and how do you guys do this?
Yeah, how do you charge so much and do so little? It's
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm inside of their rooms, you know. I'm
Yeah.
inside of I think I'm inside of like 30 rooms.
Wow.
You know, because I know all these guys, a lot of these guys. You know, I started networking early, and yeah, it's really unimpressive.
Wow.
You know, the other thing I want to point out and thank our members is we've got great members in there, just such great people. And you guys have commented that to me as well, that it just seems to be a mature crowd, which helps a lot. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
Great.
You know, I definitely know Cowboy has dealt with it. Myself as well. You know, the crowd definitely motivates us. It motivates us really to keep going, like harder and harder and harder, and like actually, like, you know, really engage them, because it's pleasant to be in there. It really is. You know, I like talking with the people. You know, I like openly being in, like, even random discussions in there. It's just a great crowd.
Well, yeah, and you know, I've been following Rogue, and I'm a Remain Calm customer, and I mean, I've used like 4 or 5 of you know, Rogue and Remain Calm vendors and services. And what's really fun for me is having, you know, been listening to the show for well over a year and being such a fan, being in the room with Rogue and Remain Calm people. That makes it even more fun for somebody who's of my proclivity in that respect.
That's awesome.
So, Cowboy, you want to throw that technical analysis Coinly thing up? Coinergy. That's it, Coinly.
Oh yeah, we got to get his screen up there. I don't see it yet.
I always got to do it twice. I got to screen share twice.
That's right.
Yeah, we're seeing Clint Eastwood right now.
So what? There it is.
Yeah. Do you feel lucky, punk?
There it is. All right. So everybody sees that?
No.
You don't see it?
No, I'm still seeing you.
How about now?
No. Maybe do I have to select it? I see it now.
Yeah.
It keeps bouncing back to your voice when you talk. Maybe that's my fault. I don't know.
Hold on, my friend.
Hey, in the meanwhile, while we're straightening that out,
what's up?
Z agreed to do something very cool for members of the crypto school. Remember, we have the school and the trade room. Those are 2 separate things. We recommend you get in both to get the 1-2 punch.
Right.
But Z was talking, I don't know, like 2 or 3 shows ago, that he was posting about 5 coins, 5 tokens that he was, because his, you know, we talk about TA, that's technical analysis. But these guys are also great at fundamentals, and I think Z, that's one of your specialities, right? So
yeah, I read a lot on that.
Yeah, he does a lot of research, a lot of reading. So he posted, I think, 4 or 5 tokens that he's been researching about. So here's the thing: those of you who are in the trade room may have seen those. We want to put them all together in one place on the crypto school in the educational side of our site here. And so Z and I are going to do an interview sometime this week, next week at the latest. And he's going to come on and talk with me about his research. And so that'll be on there for anybody who's a member or future member of the crypto school. So just a heads up, I'm excited about that because I kind of missed it when you did the quick posts about it. So I'm excited to have it all in one place and have a video going through the details. So that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Cryptoschool.io, the cryptoschool.io.
The cryptoschool.io. All right. With that being said, Z, Cowboy, where do you guys want to start?
Well, what do you say, Z? Do you want to have me just kind of go over Bitcoin? I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, let's just tackle BTC. It's been some like pretty exciting stuff over the last week, and actually, Cowboy's been doing a lot of TA work in the room, and you know, the TA has been spot on. Yeah. I mean, you know, back to what we talked about last Monday. You know, I've been following, or actually last Friday, actually. I've been actually following Cowboy's TAing for BTC, like entering and exiting BTC. And you know, personally for me, I think I've made 35% off of the last 5 days off of his BTC charts.
Sick. That's just insane.
Yeah, it's you know, that's my favorite thing to do is to play with charts. Obviously,
Just buying at lows and selling at highs and just letting it constantly swing. It's just, you know, like we keep emphasizing that there's other ways to making money in this game. You know, it's not just altcoins. It's not just, you know, finding the gem or the ICOs. A lot of times it is shorting and going or staying in Bitcoin or getting out of Bitcoin a lot of times.
Yeah.
And you know, Cowboy's great with that.
Oh yeah, well that's how I built my book doing that. So you know, and the other part of my book that got built a little further down the road was actually listening to Z and his recommendations on certain coins. However, you know, I just used to sit there and ignore the rest of the market and literally just scalp, just buy low, sell high. And I made a fair amount of money doing that. And so the best way to trade, in my opinion, when it comes to, well, pretty much anything technical, is to have a hybrid strategy, because there were times when, say, the technology that allowed me to do that scalping, that technology was gone because I liked a particular exchange and there was a problem with that exchange. And then I was dead in the water. And then there were times, you know, that's like, hey, Z, what should I, you know, buy some coins? What's going to go up? Right. And then there were times when, you know, I think back in like the big dump last year in May, you know, everything was red, nothing was going anywhere. Z's like, hey, can you show me how you do that scalping thing? And, you know, so there's always, every market evolves, and if you do not evolve with that market, then you're dead in the water.
Correct.
You know,
You get a lot of old school, you know, forex traders, and you know, I'm not gonna say who, but you know, sticking with their ways.
Yeah, old school forex traders, and they're more like a 2x or a 1x trader at this point.
Negative X traders.
Watch me lose $100 million, boys.
You guys are killing
watch this. Now watch this trade.
It's like our discussion before the show never happened.
Negative X traders.
Negative X trader.
Negative X trader.
So, you know, to actually look at the chart and avoid some trash talking, you know, one thing that I make a lot of money on in these types of markets, these volatile markets, is I use supports and resistances and market structure. So, you know, you can look at your MACD, you can look at your RSI, and all these fancy things I pull up with these graphs and these oscillators and charts. And you need those. However, if you don't understand market structure, you might as well not trade. And so one of the things with resistances and supports, what you're looking at on the screen is just an example of some opportunities to, say, scalp, like if you want to play in that game, right? So if you look at, and I'm going to zoom this in a little bit, so my circles are going to become ovals, but between 9,500 and about 9,000, you're going to see Bitcoin likes to kind of bing around in there. Bop, 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 bing. So, you know, that is a place where there are opportunities. If you, like, let's just say, for example, it's coming up from here, right? And I know that if it breaks this 9,000 support, I know if it breaks it and stays above it for a certain degree, I have a pretty good idea it's probably going to possibly bounce right up here at 9,500. So if I buy at that 9,000, I'll wait till I actually confirm bullishness. So it breaks this support, right? It was actually a resistance is really what it was. Resistances become supports and back and forth. So when this is going up, it's going to want to bounce off that level. It's called the resistance for new people in the room. If it breaks through that resistance, it oftentimes will form a support. And you know, this is all stuff that we're not going to learn in a video. This is all stuff that you learn over time. We have a school for those of us who are not aware of it. It's called the cryptoschool.io. People can watch me do this all day long. It's like all I do all day long.
In the description, guys. In the description.
Yeah, it's in the description of if you're watching this on YouTube. But just as an example, you know, I can confirm bullishness right here. And I can see it possibly bouncing, but you know, I don't care if it's going to bounce or not. I just sell at the top because I have a feeling there's a chance it'll drop. If it doesn't drop and it goes up, I got some profit and I can find a new entry. And so throughout the last few days, these circles are some of the areas where we pretty much were like, hey, we're going to do this. Hey, we're going to do that. and these prices become range bound. And any time that anything is moving and you have an idea of where it's going to move, there's money to be made. So, there's right now, if we're looking at Bitcoin, there's a lot more to it than this, but just to give everybody a basic idea, right now it's kind of range bound. It's range bound between about 83, 8,500, and it's kind of staying below 9,500. It'll pop up, but it doesn't really want to. And if you look at this Ichimoku, this big red line, the baseline that goes through here, you can see that it kind of wants to stay around that line. Okay. So the baseline is sort of like a magnet for the price. And if the price really, really diverges and in either direction, up or down, if it goes hard and it really, really goes far away from a red line, me looking at this last night, I'm like, okay, that's 10,000 is kind of a big, big number in any game. And I don't think it's ready to really break that. However, this red line hasn't moved, and this has moved a lot. So if the red line hasn't moved, it's going to want to pull that right back down. And look where it is now, right by the red line, right by the baseline. It's going to continue to revisit that. So
on the bright side, though, you get that nice little crossover right there, that cloud crossover, all the way at the very, very end of that crowd.
I'll put a circle around that so people can see what that means. So this is a they call it a bull flip. So when the cloud is red, you see how the Bitcoin is right below it. We're talking about the Ichimoku indicator. It's like Z's favorite. He loves it. So Z, I'm going to let you actually talk more about it since you.
I mean, just as Cowboy was saying, it's a bull flip. It's an indication essentially. I mean, you can't really tell right there because we're on the 1 hour, but just long story short, I mean, it's a good indicator when it goes from red to green. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's signaling essentially clear skies, you may call it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's the easiest way to say, right? You think of these two things as clouds. That is, a green. You obviously want a green cloud.
Yeah. So, and that this kind of stuff, for us to go into greater detail, Z and Frank and I are making videos. We're toying with the idea of maybe like doing something live. So, we'll kind of get back once that idea is fleshed out. But under any circumstance, I'm doing this all day. Z's doing it. Z's like I say, I don't think Z's any less of a chartist than I am. I think I just like it more.
Oh, yeah, our fundamentals are just different. I mean, you're excellent charting. I'm more of a reading fundamentals into coins kind of guy, and we balance each other out. I mean,
Z's a hell of a chartist, though. Don't discount it. So, but anyway, what we're looking at here on the 4 hour we do have like a bit of an upward channel developing, which is good news. It means that we're kind of slowly wanting to find our way back up. So as of now, I wouldn't really count on a huge rise, maybe not today, but then again, Bitcoin is a fickle beast. Like, she will do whatever she wants. So, you gotta always be sort of cognizant of that. But we have a widening bull channel. It could dip back down a little lower, all the way to the top. This channel could change. A lot of times channels will change just midway through, but at least right now we're in a positive trend with this bull flip, especially. I could drop down to a different chart, Z, like to the 30-minute or something. Do you want to see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
30, or even actually the long, the 3 hour, the 4 hour would be good too.
Okay, I think okay. That's the 4 hour.
Let me see.
All my little Cheerios are sitting there still. Get rid of them.
Okay, yeah, that's a 30 right there.
I just flipped over to the 4 hour. Your screen might be catching up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Are you seeing it?
Yeah, I see it. I see that large.
And this is cool. So now the Ichimoku cloud is actually showing us something different as well. You have this bit of a bear flip right here. So on the longer, it's actually looking a little bit bearish. This can change within 24 hours. This could flip green over here. I mean, it's not like everybody's going to die. But you do have this thinness in that red right here. And it's a very low probability that it's going to shoot up like this. But if it did, the way that these clouds work, the thicker the cloud, the tougher the resistance when it's red. Okay. So if you're above the cloud, the thicker the cloud, the better the support. But if this little thin part right here, if we get lucky and it just shoots right up, right through that area, then, you know, we could see a cliff high situation. 13,888, baby. Come on.
Nice.
We both said nice same time.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this. How is, just out of curiosity, guys, how is BCH doing as well as Bitcoin Gold? I know BCH is doing pretty decent, but has Bitcoin Gold ever taken off?
BTG, let me take a look at it right now.
Yeah, BCH right now. Which one do you want to look at first? You want to look at Bitcoin Gold?
Yeah,
I mean, let's look at Bitcoin Cash first, and then we'll look at Bitcoin
Okay,
Gold.
because Bitcoin Gold looks terrible. It's just literally just going down right now.
There's your answer.
It's been consolidating for like half a year now.
God, like, what is the point of that? I mean, what I don't even know.
Dude, there's, it doesn't take that much to have a hard fork. People hear hard fork and they think that the government signs something, and it's just no. All it is a group of miners and programmers who just want to have a different form of the coin.
Yep.
And it could be like 8 guys and their dog, and they just say, hey, we want to have Bitcoin dog food, and then they just have BCDF, and no one uses it. And so that's probably what's going on with Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Diamond and Bitcoin Private and Bitcoin, I don't know about
Classic.
private. There's, you name it, there is one. I mean, it's not the first hard fork.
All right, so
BCH is looking a bit bullish on the 4-hour. You're in a big fat red cloud, but that cloud is shrinking towards the end right here. So that cloud, if it shrank all the way and it went the other direction, it would become green. And what it's doing on the 4 hours, it's actually fighting its way through that cloud. And once you can push through the cloud, then that's like a confirmation of bullishness. Another good sign that we're looking at is this TK cross, where the blue line on the Ichimoku has actually got above the red line, and that signals an entry. So if you wanted to solely go by Ichimoku, now would be an excellent time to enter. Personally, I take the conservative route whenever I see price going into the cloud, and I wait for it to punch through.
Hey, I have a on a bigger scale. We've never talked about this. What do you guys think of BCH in general? I know V has had a number of discussions with Roger, who's a friend of Rogue. But what's your take? Do you think it's going anywhere? Do you think it's helpful?
Oh, you've spoken with Roger Ver?
Yeah, we're buddies, man.
Buds. Yeah, he's been on. He's done some great interviews with Roger.
Oh,
Roger's a great guy.
Oh yeah, Roger's killer.
With BCH, it's tough, right? Because you gotta trust either Roger right here. You gotta trust Cliff High, right? Cliff High essentially states that BCH will grow. I mean, his data indicates that BCH will grow as time passes,
right.
But Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. Essentially. Now, what do I personally think? I personally think that Bitcoin also is not going to go anywhere. Just like, the way gold is used in everyday life, where, people don't really transact with it. But there's, it's a place you store your wealth in. I think that Bitcoin is essentially going to fit that role.
It seems like Bitcoin's getting a lot better. I mean, in terms of the fees and things, like I had to send something into Bitcoin to take some profits, and it cost 14 cents. Whereas, a couple months ago, we had somebody sign up
$400.
Yeah, seriously, we stopped. This is telling how bad it got. The crypto school stopped accepting Bitcoin because somebody paid with Bitcoin, and it was like, well, where'd all the money go? The fee was enormous. Right. It was one of our discounts. The person had a discount. The fee was $30 on a $150 transaction.
Jeez.
And that's when I said, "Oh, we're turning that off." And then I couldn't get it out of the wallet to split it up to give to our team because it was the only Bitcoin I had in the wallet, and there wasn't enough to send any.
Because that's how bad it was. Fees than what you could send.
No, exactly. I couldn't move it. I could not move it.
It was a disgusting, hot, putrid pile of dog.
Now, yesterday I sent myself some Bitcoin. I like one of the things I use if I want to get some cash out of crypto, just little bits of cash, right? Not lots of cash, is the Shift Payments. I think it's shiftpayments.com. And it's a Bitcoin debit card. It's Bitcoin Visa. And so what I'll do is I'll just take some profit and send it into my Coinbase. And mine is attached to a Bitcoin wallet. So that's one of the few times I'm really using Bitcoin. And the fee was like $14. No, 14 cents. That would have made a different point. Yeah, it was a 14-cent fee.
Yeah, $20 was $14 fee.
Yeah.
So profit for you to spend.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm saying it was much, much better. I mean, it's not as good as like Litecoin, and I think BCH, I think the fees are much better. But it wasn't ludicrous. It wasn't prohibitive. You know, it was still better than a credit card or something like that. You know,
is Shift something that you know, relies upon you to report your taxes, or is it something that does it for you?
It basically I don't know. It takes a debit out of your Coinbase. I've never gotten anything from them, anything special. So I don't think I've used my Coinbase that way enough that I qualify for any of their reporting, which is all still confusing, you know.
Well, I mean, go back to the taxes and crypto show. I mean, these guys they're mouthing a lot of stuff, but there's no regulatory teeth behind it.
Yeah, as Mr. X says, our suspicion is that they said just enough to scare a lot of people into reporting on themselves and causing themselves all kinds of problems. If I had to sort of simplify it down to a sentence, that was our take on our cryptos and taxes show.
Yeah, there's
no statute written on how to pay taxes from your cryptos. So, but anyway, we don't want to get in that rabbit hole. find our show with Mr. X not too long ago. It was a great one.
BCH, the way I feel about it, to answer you guys' question, is I think that it's going to always have traction with like your libertarian crowd. You know, and Roger Ver has like a sort of a video he put out about the Lightning Network and how it's basically like the way that you're going to get into controlling Bitcoin and things like that. So I'm with Zia. I think that Bitcoin is going to be sort of like the new gold, where sovereigns are going to probably use it to pay each other off. However, the Lightning Network could make a difference in that. I think Bitcoin Cash is always going to have traction with a crowd that doesn't want to play that game. They actually will purposefully want to use that to avoid giving power to Bitcoin and the people who control it.
I've heard, I don't know if it's in reports, I'm sure it is, but I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Cliff has talked about that in interviews, the idea that Bitcoin will be the thing that countries transact with, that it'll be that valuable, you know, that's what they'll use to settle debts or, you know, whatever, make deals and stuff.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in the back of my head why I said that, most likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Bitcoin Cash is the one, you know, it's on Coinbase. It's, you know, it's the one coin you hear about every month. Ripple's going to go on Coinbase. Everybody buys Ripple and they all get ripped off. But BCH is on there. It's been on there for a while. So, I mean, it's the first big fork, and yeah, I think it's here to stay. I don't think it's going to go to zero. You know, I think it'll grow, and it'll grow slow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got enough.
But I think none of this is financial advice. So this is all for entertainment purposes, and it's my opinion. You know, opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody has them, and they all stink.
Belly buttons do belly buttons stink?
Dude, they smell exactly like the fish sauce when you go.
This is grossing me out.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
I don't know what kind of belly buttons you've been around, bro.
Yeah, what kind of people do you hang out with?
Hey, do
you live in a crack house?
No. I'm telling you guys, go to a Vietnamese restaurant. Fish sauce tastes the best thing ever. Fish sauce is amazing.
I love fish sauce.
Dude, it's so good. But smell it. It smells like belly button.
Oh my goodness! I think Nick's been.
I have
Cowboy's been hanging around too many sketchy cowboy bars, or I don't know what.
Sketchy cowboy bars.
I love it.
TV. This is why the shows should get named after. You should name it Sketchy Cowboy Bars. That should be the title of today's episode. Do you guys have any other technical analysis? Any other coins you want to look at?
All day long.
I know Cowboy's got like 15.
Let's take a look at Litecoin for the boys.
Thanks, buddy.
For the boys.
He knows the way to my heart.
Yeah, Litecoin's.
And then we can discuss some PPT stuff, because I know that a lot of.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people on this show like PPT.
Yeah, we can talk about Nico and his big mouth here shortly after we talk about Litecoin looking a bit bullish. So I'm looking at the 4 hour here, and what's interesting about it is that you have the stochastic RSI.
Is it a cup and
is-
handle? Or no?
That would be cup and handle-ish. That's
Ish, cup and handle-ish, right? See, I'm learning dudes.
I mean, you know, it could be. If you were to say, let me see here. Where's all my shapes? Let's kind of do a quick little cup here. It's cup and handle-ish. You know, I think some people would qualify that.
See,
and
I
if
know
it-
stuff.
You know stuff. You know stuff. You know, this could be the handle already broken, or I mean, it might just have been on the way to the handle. I mean, I'd have to actually do
When
some.
you put the shapes in, it's like you can't get away from now. It's like, wow, there's a cup and handle. It's so funny how the shapes can make it say whatever you want, you know.
That is one hipster cup.
That's a hipster.
That is one real hipster cup.
This is the kind of coffee shop you just leave because you can't take the hipster anymore.
That's a cup you find in West Hollywood. Yeah, I know.
Oh no. All right. So if you know, the cup and handle aside, it's potential. I'd have to do some math, but if you look at what I'm seeing here, is that it's actually pushing its way through the cloud, and that's a good sign. So on the bottom here, your MACD is bullish. You have it curling upward, and possibly if it continues to curl up, if that doesn't change, you're going to probably see more and more of a price punch right here. This is taking a turn to really count on a big run of anything. I like to see the RSI dump below this 70 mark right here. I prefer to see that. You know, it hasn't done that, and it doesn't have to do that to run. That's not a requirement, but it's just a good indicator. So if you look at the stochastic RSI, it's in the bottom, it's in bear territory, but it's taking a curve upwards. So I don't want to say it's becoming bullish, but I will say it's becoming less bearish. So if you believe that everything is established on a gradient, then yes, it is more bullish. We could see this head this way. And if it actually punches through this cloud on the 4-hour, then
it really doesn't look that bad. I mean, you have essentially 3 indicators right there that are essentially showing more bullish trends, you know, or actually 4 indicators as Cabo was talking about. You have the Ichimoku, where you see a point of entry near like the middle of the M. You have the MAC, and you have both RSIs showing a nice little curl there.
Yeah, and then if we talked about supports and earlier, supports and resistances. So to actually use that theory here, you can see where it bounced off of an old support, where if you look back here, it actually was a resistance back at this point, and it went down. It's been a support here, and it's been a support back here. So this is kind of an established support / resistance point, and it bounced off of there. We have another resistance right here, though, from earlier. It's got a hit here, and this is roughly at 0.021 or so Bitcoin. And it bounced off of there, and it had some action here. So it might run up against that, or even this. This one
Correct.
is an established one. So we're kind of looking for that. And there's another sort of a resistance that's kind of not as clear, but the top of this cloud is also a resistance. So
correct. Just for those people that hold Litecoin, Litecoin's a fantastic coin. I really think that in the future it's gonna have a nice future. So far from what I've seen, just based on the history, any sort of price below 0.02 is honestly, I think, a great price. Just because we are in a bear market, and Litecoin has been holding its own, and it's sort of like champagne underneath like a cork. Once Bitcoin sort of calms down and it stops running up or running down, and it kind of trades sideways, I really think you're going to see a nice boom with Litecoin.
Yeah, that's encouraging. And for those who are new to this stuff, when he says 0.020, he's talking about against, if you could just wave your mouse over there, Cowboy, he's talking about against Bitcoin. So he's talking about
the Satoshi value versus the Satoshi value. As we always keep saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Which these trader guys, it drives some people crazy, but it's important to get comfortable with it. For those of you, just as an educational note, for those of you who are in our room, the more comfortable you get with that, the easier it is to read their technicals and stuff. It's very helpful. But but no, it does seem that way. Again, I'm really biased because I hold a lot of Litecoin, but it sure did for the most part feel like you said, being held under pressure, right? Like you've got this really, really rough market, and Litecoin just seemed to be fighting through the whole thing. And yeah, it does. It feels like it wants to explode. Not that it's sentient, but
another thing to look at is that there's a group of people that we were sort of making fun of earlier. They did point out that it is, if you look at the USD, it's actually in a giant bull flag. And the thing about most cryptocurrencies is I don't care about USD, aka US dollars. I don't look at that because I'm not interested in collecting dollars. I want to collect Satoshi. My belief is that Satoshi and Bitcoin are going to actually be what go up in the future, while the dollar is going to tank. So what are you going to hold? What are you going to collect? I'm not going to collect dollars. I'm going to maybe pay bills in dollars and pay taxes with dollars. But I'm not going to be, anyway, the point is I'm going to collect Satoshi. However, when you're looking at Litecoin, okay, Litecoin has a US dollar component psychologically, because people who are buying and selling Litecoin are often on Coinbase and they want to know what it is, the price of dollars.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to look at Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and even Bitcoin Cash in the dollar sense. And if you do, you're in a giant bull flag. So if that was the case, then mathematically you could see, and I'm going to use the wick. I know.
And this is the essay he's talking about for those watching. We've touched on it in the trading room. What's it called? We've talked about essay being also very fundamentally important to understand. It's not just FA and TA. There is an essay component, and what Cowboys talk a sentiment analysis. And what essentially that covers how strong is the audience for the coin, and also more importantly, ease of purchasing the coin and so forth. All these things come into play with SA, and Coinbase being on Coinbase is a big factor for Litecoin. I mean, I've got buddies of mine who just unfortunately bought Ethereum like 2 days ago. I told him not to, but he did, and it went. I told him not to.
I love that. I told him not to.
Yeah, he did, and I'm just like, oh, geez.
Shut up. See, what do you know? I'm gonna go ahead and buy it.
Yeah, he just bought it on Coinbase. I'm just like, oh, that sucks. But there you go. This is an untrained person who has nothing to do with even stocks, and he just pulled up the Coinbase app on his phone and purchased it right there.
And even then, he'll probably do great.
Oh no, he'll probably do great because it's the kind of guy that won't touch it for a year, and then he'll come back a year, and Ethereum will be like $2,000 in a year.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Although the problem is that had he had waited for the right opportunity, then he would have 3 million instead of 1.5. But hey, no one listens to us.
Very cool.
So to look at the flag, and the way that we look at flags is the length of the flagpole going up is oftentimes a good indicator for the possibility of the actual run. So if it were to run from here, I'm going to have to be a little bit messy. But if it were to run from here, this is approximately that length right here. So what we're looking at is a flag with the flag in it. And we always like to see flags with flags in them.
And Litecoin seems to be like, since we've started talking, Litecoin has been doing this, the flag and the flag thing. I mean, it's done it again and again.
Yeah, you'll see it throughout the whole space. But one thing to understand, though, is that this is the daily chart. So, if you're sitting there watching the thing with a stopwatch, like, oh, it's going to go any minute. No, this has been building since December. Okay. However, it's been building since December. So if it took 2 months or 3 months, that's more than 3 months to build, how long you think it's going to go up for, or how hard do you think it'll go up? Because these things, they're like a capacitor, or not a capacitor, they're like, I don't know, something electrical that I'm not electrical enough to explain, but they charge up hard. Like they take a while to charge up, and then they just discharge half the time. Just bam.
Isn't that exactly what happened with Ethereum? We had Ethereum at, I don't know what it was it around 300 forever? And it kind of slowly just meandered, and then all of a sudden, now we're accustomed. Now we're disappointed if Ethereum's not over 1,000.
Yeah,
yeah,
right. It feels like, again, I know it's stupid to say it feels like, who cares? But just observing it, it seems like Litecoin's doing the same thing. It had its jump up to 300. It's meandering between 150 and 250, and it seems like it's building up energy.
Yeah.
It looks like that. Yeah. I mean, part of I have a little bit of an issue because this flag was sort of a fake out breakout. Couldn't make it out of the channel, but you do have decreasing volume, which still indicates flaggishness. So, I mean, you know, the larger flag that the other person talked about, I mean, technically it looks like one, although I'm not seeing a very steady drop off in volume with it. But the smaller flag is pretty flaggish. So if it breaks this larger flag, given that it really acts like a flag, you guys could see fireworks. I mean, and you know, I would wait for this volume to drop off. If I was just going to eyeball it, I'd say wait another few weeks. But some kind of catalyst or event could push it. You know.
Yeah, exciting, cool, very
Mhm.
helpful. So did you guys? You guys brought up the PPT interesting posts yesterday. You guys want to talk about that? I can.
Yeah,
I'll pull up my Twitter, and I'll
Z
read through it. And
loves
I'll get
Nico.
your.
Oh,
I'll get your
jeez, man.
Z loves Nico, don't you, Z?
Ugh.
Well, it's funny. We were talking about.
Yeah.
All the
We're talking about
shenanigans
Z's,
PPT. Let's get into that.
Z's favorite coin is Ven, but I know Cowboy, you had a real close relationship with PPT for a while.
I just, you know what? Like I've been talking with Cowboy and PPT since PPT like pretty much just launched. It was on Ether Delta, and it was at like what? It was at like $3.
Oh yeah, it was the day it launched, and so like you
Yeah.
know, so what? This is kind of a fun story. I'm driving home from a construction site out in Southern California, and I don't know if you had been there that day, but Z and I were just talking on the phone on the way back, and we were talking about PPT, and like I'd heard about it from Cliff before it was even going to hit the market. So it was the day it hit the market, and I'm like, dude, we got to get this. And so I took everything I had left after I lost a bunch of money before I knew anything of what I was doing, and I threw it all into PPT. It was a lot of fun. And you know, I think it was that night, and I was on the phone with Z at the same time. And Z's like, "You're really gonna do that?" I'm like, "I'm gonna do that." He goes, "Screw it." Like, you know, like I'll throw a bunch in there too. So we do. And then that night, I'm sitting there, and I'm, you know, I got like 4 computer screens in front of me, and my place out on the freaking ranch out there in where I used to live on the cowboy ranch. And you know, all of a sudden, like PPT just starts to move, and I'm like, Z. We get on there as he gets on, and we start looking like, dude, this thing is rocketing. All of a sudden, dude, like, I don't know, $1 million buy walls or sell walls are getting eaten up, and this thing is just like going up. So he's like, dude, we just made like 28 grand, like, woo, you know.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous like that.
Awesome.
This is back when we didn't have, you know, any for us to make 28 grand was several multiples of what we were betting with.
Yeah, and on top of it, like, and then that's when the whole silver the antidote thing happened, and then unfortunately it got suppressed and it crashed for a while. But
what's that? What's the silver the antidote thing? Was that
the silver the antidote thing? He was this YouTuber that got an interview with Cliff High, and he got an interview with Cliff High. He pretty much brought Populous to, you know, more of the mainstream area. I mean, he had a pretty big following, and then I guess there were some internal discussions about him being promised like a bunch of tokens or something.
Oh, I remember that now. Okay, I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he ended up like not getting as much as he wanted, so he ended up just like dumping all of his tokens, and he caused like a surge in the. He caused like a huge landslide in the price at the early stage.
Well, he spread a bunch of FUD too.
Yeah, correct. So, you know, anyway, so my issue with Populous, and I think we saw these tweets yesterday. I mean, I mentioned it before. I like the fact that Steve Nico is being more engaging with his marketing, but thank God he's finally starting to talk about some stuff, which is great. But yesterday, I don't know, whether he, you know, had like a child tantrum or something. But I have never seen a CEO of a multi, you know, $1 million, you know, close to $1 billion company act the way he acted.
I've seen it once before. I saw it once before, and that's when Silver the Antidote. When Silver the Antidote was doing his thing, and they had the Slack open, or not the Slack, but the Telegram, back when Nico would go on Telegram for PPT. Same thing happened. I want to say Nico was actually like using foul language. If I'm not, you know, I didn't see that. I heard that, but I saw it. I'm like, dude, just, yeah,
But this time, yeah, but this time it's not even a person that's targeting him. This is a competitor in the field. I mean, I know for a fact PayPal is has been very cordial. You know, they're not taking shots at PPT at all. They're just kind of doing their own thing. They haven't even been tweeting at all. Because I follow PayPal, they haven't even been tweeting. They've been averaging one tweet a month, just working on their beta. And he just somehow launched out yesterday against PayPal, which I think is just poor sport. I mean, he just started talking about how PayPal was owned by KPMG, which is, for those of you who don't know, is a Big Four accounting firm, and all of this stuff. And he's he's tweeting Cliff High as if Cliff High is his bodyguard of some sort. Why? It was why out of nowhere, right? Yeah, why are you tagging Cliff High in your tweets against PayPal? It makes no sense. Cliff High has no,
It seemed like the accusation was that the KPMG people are he's alleging, he says, for example, quote, "I wonder how much of PayPal platform is owned by KPMG?" ?
And he's tagging
that kind of thing. It was kind of weird. Yeah, it was
yeah. I mean, what are you doing?
It's juvenile.
Yeah, I appreciate the publicity for a coin I hold a lot of.
Exactly.
Yeah, he might be
full disclosure.
To, what is it? That there's no such thing as bad news, like they say in Hollywood, or bad publicity. No such thing as bad publicity.
I honestly think that he's feeling the pressure. He's already announced yesterday that he's delayed on releasing the PXT tokens, which was already a concern. Why do we even need a tokenized why do you even need a PXT token?
Yeah.
That you can purchase? That should be a service that the platform provides for free. I mean,
you need those tokens to use the credit ratings or something like that.
Exactly. That's absurd.
Odd. Yeah,
he's just asking. Essentially, some of the FUD that was addressed. Well, some of the FUD that was going around the PXT tokens was, why do you need to tokenize this? Is this another ploy just to get more money out of it? Because at one point,
sorry, but there's a very obvious problem. Maybe I'm not smart enough to understand it, but they airdropped those to PPT holders.
Correct.
Right? But then you sell your PPT, and now people who no longer hold PPT are now holding PXT, which are the tokens that you use to access aspects of the platform. Now what are they going to? Are they going to send new PXT to people who now bought PPT? I just cannot figure out how that's going to work.
There's we got to make a distinction there, though. I'm pretty sure PXT are not tokens. I think that.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. PXT is just a credit. They're just a credit rating.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's a separate deal.
My bad.
I'll put it to you guys this way. He owns his business. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And if
Absolutely.
you don't want to do business with him, then you can do business with PPP. PPP is PayPal. I'm one of those guys. It's hey, if his solution is that good, yeah. So he's trying to jack you for a little bit more money. Another competitor is going to come along. And PayPal might be that competitor. And so, right now his rants and ravings, might be because he's he's feeling the pressure. He's messed up and people are going to go to PayPal. Sorry, buddy.
Well,
you should match your damn timelines. Excuse me.
Correct. And he announced yesterday he's delayed on the PXT token airdrop. When was that PXT token airdrop? The snapshot was
months
ago. Snapshot was in November.
I got
and now, yeah.
I got my PXT. I don't know.
But he's doing it manually now. He's actually doing it manually now. He's actually sending.
How the hell do you do that manually?
Exactly. I mean, how do you do it manually? And then now he's before his allegations. Well, before he was saying that his tokens were going to be audited by Deloitte and actually be audited, his gold and stuff like that against the tokens. I mean, I don't even believe that now because he can't even get his PXT tokens internally audited.
Yeah, if you can't audit some tokens or whatever,
we're not trusting you with gold. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What? Now you have millions of dollars of gold in a vault somewhere. It's just everything is just everywhere.
Those are all red flags, guys.
And look, he's got a history of larceny. He went to jail for
Comes back to that. Yeah, you can't get away from it.
You can't get away from that. And so basically, if you're gonna try to reinvent yourself and you're gonna have a bad past, you need to walk a clean line. And right now,
you need to be the picture of professional.
And he doesn't walk that. He doesn't act it. He doesn't walk it. He doesn't meet his timelines. So look, Cliff has it going. Maybe it's gonna go.
Yeah,
I don't really feel like buying it right now.
Hope it does for those who've been holding it. One thing in his defense, Donald Trump has shown us one thing: you could be crazy on Twitter and still get stuff done.
Absolutely.
So let's hope Steve and Steve, Nico, and everybody get something out of it. See?
I mean, that applies at the start. You know, he's supposed to be at the finish line already, and he's not even at the finish line.
No, I agree. I was mostly joking, but yeah, no, it's definitely trouble. The thing was, I don't know if we made this point strong enough. The point of his tweet was that he's indicating that people at KPMG are big investors and owners of PayPal, and that was he claiming that they were attacking him, or is he having trouble with them? Why was he?
But here's the funny thing.
Why was he attacking them?
It's because KPMG is notoriously known. I mean, it's a Big Four accounting firm,
Okay.
and I know this because of like family ties. But KPMG is well known for getting a lot of government contracts. That they're well known for being, you know, even within the Big Four sector, they're just
the government guys.
Like the government loves hiring KPMG to do their auditing. So he's essentially stating, hey, look, you know, now you're going to use this invoice financing that's supposed to, you know, we're supposed to decentralize this area.
Okay,
but
I get it.
KPMG essentially is a government sort of entity. You know what? Like we spoke about this in the past about how regulations. I actually welcome regulations into this field. And I mean, as much as I don't want regulations, I do welcome regulations to a certain degree. I don't see this as a bad thing. It doesn't make any sense. Like big money's coming into PayPal. That's a good thing.
At the end of the day, it's a freaking accounting firm. It's not like Goldman Sachs is buying, you know.
Correct. Exactly.
It's Goldman Sachs, which has a history of finance. This is an auditing firm. At the end of the day, it's a freaking accounting firm. Yeah. And what's the way the tonality is used on a guy like this, it makes me feel this guy is unhinged. Look, I got haters. Everybody's got haters. If you don't have haters, it means you're not doing something right. Period. Right? So if you're gonna get your panties in a bunch over what certain people are saying, and then put out this connotation, this feeling like, oh, PayPal is owned by KPMG. Like a real conspiratorial level stuff,
unsubstantiated,
and really just spreading fear of the unknown. So what? It's KPMG,
which doesn't even make any sense because he just spoke about Deloitte doing his auditing for his tokens and gold. So I mean, that's actually the biggest of the Big Four firms. So I'm very confused of where he's coming from.
Yeah, it's weird.
Interesting.
You know, I wake up in the morning and I smoke my crack and I go and I like make PXT, you know. And all I got to do is, when I get really pissed off, I don't make anything better. All I got to do is go talk trash on PayPal because they're like waiting for me, you know. And they use a big accounting firm and they're like Big Brother, you know, and like Big Brother, they're aliens, and the aliens are gonna like take your money, yo.
Is that how he talks?
What is
that?
That is a London accent.
I love it. You just stumbled out of a pub somewhere in London. It's
Worcestershire.
Yeah, it's wonderple.
It's all right, mate. It's all right. We're gonna get this PXT out. Everybody manually.
You sound like a Manchester footballer, bro.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
a football fan.
You guys want to wrap it up? I have some announcements. I don't know if you got any more.
All right, let's wrap it up with some announcements, guys. Frank and all right, any one of you guys.
Me, I got this.
I'll punch it home.
So just a quick couple things let people know about that are exciting. As I said, Z and I, if you're not a member of the Crypto School at thecryptoschool.io, and I'm not talking about the Watch Us Trade Room. I'm talking about the educational side of the school, which is a one-time fee. You get access.
Go there first.
You need that. You want to be part of both if you want to get the whole experience. Now, I kind of, real quick point, I kind of feel bad when someone in the Watch Us Trade Room is like, oh, do you guys have any information about this? It's like, that's in the school, you know. It's like, you know, I want to see them get the most out of their money, but you really want to try to get both, even if you have to sign up, save up a little bit for a couple weeks. Remember, the education part is a one-time payment, okay, so which is well worth your while. It's a growing library of awesome stuff. That's at thecryptoschool.io. But as I said, Z and I are going to be talking very soon, hopefully this week, latest next week, and we're going to talk about his his fundamental analysis on some new tokens that he's looking at. We think it'll be very interesting, very educational. So look for that soon in the crypto school. Also, we put our heads together. We've been spoiling people in the Watch Us Trade room with a very low introductory price. And we said from the beginning, it's an introductory price. It's gonna go up. Everybody's subscription is gonna go up April 15th. Okay, so the price is going to increase whenever you join or your subscription renews. It's going to be after April 15th. So you've got a little over a month. So here's the thing. If you want to go in and see what these guys are doing at the introductory price of $149.97, $149.97, you only have a month and a couple of days to get in there to get that first month. In fact, that's a little secret. If you get in before the 15th, your subscription will renew. You'll actually get the first 2 months at that price. Yep. If you're listening today's the 12th of March that we're doing this, 2018. So that price is going to go up on April 15th. So if you want to get the first 2 months, you want to join like now. Okay.
Yep.
But all the way up until April 15th, we're going to have it available at the introductory price of $149.97. To get in that room, you can cancel anytime. Hardly anyone has. If that's an indicator, people spending money on this, almost no one has canceled their subscription. I think
the only ones that canceled, the ones that realized that they should have went to the school first.
Yeah.
Coming into the trading room. Those are the only ones. You can count that on less. It literally like 2 or 3 people. That was it.
It honestly, a lot of people have signed up for the trading room and very few have canceled. And you get the feeling a couple people canceled. It's just stuff going on in their lives. No one has said to me, these guys suck. I haven't heard that or anything approaching that once. What I hear all day is people can't get over how helpful they are.
At the end of the day is this. We're going to be posting, and what we're going to have Frank do is this. We're going to be posting screenshots. Of some of the chats that are happening live at the trading room.
Unsolicited, man.
Unsolicited. You're going to see people literally saying comments. Hey, guess what? I paid for my entire year of the trading room just based on just a handful of trades I did with you guys.
Yeah.
Think about this is why I said, guys, some people are like, well, it's a 149, and then the next month it's going to be 300. Like, what's going to go up to next? It doesn't matter what's going to go up to next, because you know why? You're going to be making money. You pay for the damn profits in your school with your profits from crypto. That's your motivation.
Yeah.
You get it? You're going to go in there and be like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to trade, but I'm going to trade and I'm going to utilize the profits to pay for this, because I'm not going to pay for it out of my pocket. I'm going to pay it not from my pocket, but from my profits.
Yep. Dude, think of what people spend. I mean, I've been a lecturer and educator. Think of what people spend on their education, per credit in college, and then they're be paying it off for years. This is educational material that you can begin using now, and you can begin making money off of it now. Okay, we never guarantee that. It's for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. But at the same time, you're obviously learning something really, really valuable here. Yeah. And it's a very little bit of money to spend to expand your own education and awareness to make what is potentially very significant money. So absolutely.
Cowboy, go for it.
Reiterating on Frank's point, as I said last show, I've been allocating a nice little bag towards, just the calls in the trade room. And just towards those calls, and I've been doing very, very well myself. I think I've already paid my membership fee like 3 times over if I was a member. But yeah, guys, I can't stress this enough. I have friends and family that ask me all the time, is this still okay time for me to get into cryptos? It definitely is.
It's a great time.
Yeah, I personally think that, we're going to see a nice 1 to 2 years of nice gains. But this year is going to be the year in which you're going to see those crazy sort of life-changing gains. And, you don't want to miss out on that, just over a few $100.
Yeah, no, everything that Z said right there. I mean, I'm looking at putting a fair amount of more fiat into the crypto market. I mean, I have a nice bag already. I feel I can explode, but and I take my profits and I do put them into other things like metals. I think that this isn't financial advice, but I mean, I'm a sort of an investment type of guy, and that's what I do. So, and then the last thing, is, and then everything these guys said, just repeat that, can say that I've repeated it here. But the last thing I want to tell everybody is in the last 10 or 15 minutes on the show, provided that the screen is still being shared, everybody just got to watch me build a chart on Ethereum. So everybody got to kind of watch me just do my thing, put some circles and lines and all that. So, essentially, without getting too deep into it, those who know how to read charts can read it. Those who want to actually have questions about it, we're over at thecryptoschool.io. That's thecryptoschool.io. And when you go there, don't be worried, because it's going to send you to www.remaincalmschool.com.
Yeah, we got to get that fixed.
Yeah, that's all right. We can get that fixed. But in the meantime, if you type in thecryptoschool.io, it's going to take you right where you want to go. And that's where you get to watch us make a bunch of money. If you look at the top here where it says watch us trade, that is where you can get in and make some, make us enjoyable, letting you watch us trade. And then also, we have Remain Calm in it all of itself. I'm like I said earlier in the show, I have about 5 different things I've worked with Rogue and Remain Calm on. So far, every vendor they have put forward has been a success for me. And I'm hoping that Z and I can continue to be a success in that same regard.
Very cool.
Absolutely. You guys already are. You guys are changing lives right now. And that's why I love it.
It's great.
I love it. And folks, here's the deal. This is once in a lifetime opportunities here. People are like, well, it's like an infomercial for a school. Yeah, it is an infomercial for a school, but it's also education. We'll give me a little bit of both. Here, in this world where, you're not going to be making money on Google ads. You're not going to be making money on YouTube. The only way you're going to make it is providing services. There are other people that would rather sell you some BS snake oil. You can go ahead and buy that. But, I could buy this pill and it will increase my testosterone levels while reducing my body fat at the same time. And I will also have virile energy of a 20-year-old. You can try that and you'll be sorely mistaken. Others of you will get into BS services and BS things that just doesn't do much of anything. We're here providing solutions, and that's why we created Remain Calm. That's why we're bringing the crypto school to you guys. It's about solutions. I've said this back in 2012. I said gold and silver. Back in 2012, I said this: gold and silver are the only exploits the average American has in order to stave off any sort of a financial collapse. And look at where the crypto market has gotten us from 2012 to where we are today. And I'm telling you right now, folks, this is beyond just the only exploit that's been given to you. You've been given a printing press.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay? I'm going to repeat that again. You have been given a printing press. Learn how to operate it. You've been given a printing press, and these gentlemen, Z and Cowboy, are telling you, here's the instruction booklet. Here's how it works. This is how you operate it. Do you want free money? Do you want free money? One of the things I always say is this, guys. I always say this, folks. I say this. The largest transfer of wealth in human history is about to take place. Do you want to get paid? Do you want to get paid? Or you want to be one of those keyboard commentators that's going to be sitting on the sideline wondering why you're broke, wondering why you're just barely paying the bills, wondering why, well, you know what? What these guys are saying is fine. I'm going to go out and go get a third job to add to my other 2 part-time jobs. There are people who quit their full-time jobs. And, of course, results vary, and past performances are not indicative of future results. But there are people, testimonials of people that have quit their day jobs, and they're doing this full-time. This is reality. You've been given a printing press. Do you want to know how it works? In other words, you've been given the very thing that the inside elites have, except it's not a central bank. It's your own bank. And folks, soon, in the next coming weeks, when I unveil to the world what I've been working on for the last several years.
Drum roll.
Wow. wow, is all I got to say, because that's going to revolutionize the entire world. It's going to bring everything together. It's going to make sense. It's going to make your life a lot easier. And that's what this whole entire thing is about, is providing solutions to make your life easier. You've been given a printing press. Go forth and make money. RemainCalm.net, thecryptoschool.io. Check it out, thecryptoschool.io. Enroll today. Go through the one-time fee. Get your schooling done. Watch the educational videos, and then go to the Watch Us Trade trading room. Watch Us Trade. Get over there, join it, and make yourself some money, folks. Make yourself some money. Pay for your whole damn year's worth of school fees right now. Thecryptoschool.io. And with that being said, folks, we're over and out. And my man CJ's not here. I'm going to do it myself.